All right, all right, all right. Let's talk reefing tonight. See if we get some people in here and get a discussion going. Oh, someone's in here. Hello, hello, hello. Size down so I can actually read the chat. Hey, big guy. What you doing? Cats are around, of course. They know I got a mic on, so they know they got to annoy me. Indeed, huh? Hey, Noah. Noah Tube HD. So are you into reefing, like saltwater fish tanks? Hey, Angelic. I just got in there not that long ago from traveling in the snow. I actually took video of it. I might put it in my next video just to show people what I got to drive through if I hit a snowstorm. There you go. I actually came home to my 120s water looking stellar, for lack of a better word. I was really happy to see that. A 175 bow front. That is massive. Not really. I had a 45 bow front. Decided I didn't really like the way things looked in it, and then had a massive bubble algae outbreak. So I started to switch up and went with a 120. And I have a also 20-gallon, what do you call it? Nano system, sumped with a 20-gallon sump. There's videos. Want to care to watch them? Go right ahead. Like, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. No, New York. You know what? It's funny. I know you're not that far south. I think it's like an 18-hour drive from where I am. I'm in Canada, so it snows a lot. But the weather is actually not that much different. It just ends up being when a cold front moves in, we're usually right in front of it. So when it does snow, it tends to pile up quick. Tonight was really just slushy, goopy mess. Made driving a little treacherous, to say the least. And which was good because it made it that I didn't have a lot to think, or time to think, I should say, on the drive home because we were prepping for moving a family member who's mentally ill, and I was dealing with another family member who's mentally ill while doing this, which should be me. Now, I am a very nonplussed kind of person, and there's just topics I don't care to talk about. So, and when I say that, I'm talking like, the politics, religion, blah, blah, blah. I just don't care. I get involved what I need to get involved with. And it's one of those things where I just sort of, yep, okay. Majority of the work's done. I'm out of here. Snowstorm. I'm driving away, guys. I got an hour's drive through this crazy stuff. Which turned out I was right. Took what should have taken 45 minutes, took an hour and a half. So I love the cold. I was joking the other night, Noah, you might like this joke. It was pretty dry. I didn't get a lot of laughs out of it, but it's true. I think spontaneous human combustion is just Canadians who went too far south. When we go to Florida and we've lived here when we're not snowbirds, we live here all the time. So instead of going down, staying and getting used to it, that kind of thing, we go down for a trip to, like, say, Disney. If it's 70 degrees, everyone down there is wearing a jacket. We're wearing T-shirts and shorts and sweating to death. And that's no joke. Whatever it is you're sorry to hear, I appreciate it. There's a lot of things I should have been sorry to hear today. So I definitely just want to talk fish and grind that crap out of my system today. And like I said, just thrilled to death to see my water looking that good today. I'm like, yep, there we go. That's what I've been shooting for. So now it's keeping it there. Yeah, nitrates were at 10. There was phosphate's going to be, I got to get the hammer checker because it's not really registering on my test kit, but my test kit only goes down as low as 0.25, which means I could still be somewhere in that range. But really, I'm not going to sweat that. I don't have any really excess anything going on in that tank. Now, if I see that in my 20, which I'm going through a hair algae little kind of thing, I might freak out a little. How was your day, Angelic? Enough of me. Well, like I'm the only guy in chat here, like talking. So, yeah. I'll do everything in the movie guy voice tonight. In a world where I'm surrounded by idiots, welcome to the tankening. You know, like yeah. Yeah, that's definitely going to be my next video title, The Tankening. That works. Oh, yeah, you mentioned that to me last night that you were starting vacation. Awesome. You're going somewhere. You said if it works out. If it doesn't, then you'd just hang out at home or something. There was something you were doing. Oh, cool. You don't pull any wife aggro, man. Mine's sleeping. So I'm like, it's awesome. Right. You're going to the lake. That's it. We were talking about you might fish. And if the weather's too inclement, then you're going to stay home, which is for me, that's vacation. I mean, I'm on unemployment right now, so I get to stay home. So I'm really going to be dicking around with my tanks. I know I am. Um, I lost a subscriber today. I'm hurt. I had 85. Now I got 84. I'm like, oh, boo hoo. You know, if you want to subscribe to my channel, I look at it like great. If you don't, I'm not doing this for the kudos and the popularity. I'm doing it because I just like shooting videos about how to do stuff and how to find workarounds for stuff versus spending $500 on something. I mean, sometimes you can't get around that. We've talked about that last night. That you just got to spend the money. Get the hell over it. But yeah, it's uh, it's an interesting hobby. So Noah, how long you been in reefing or tanks in general? I guess. And I hope Lisa pops in because Ray has directly contacted her from reefsupplies.ca and he's going to send her, I think he's going to send her a full suite of test kits. So, Red Sea stuff. So, that'll help her out on her journey towards coral. Considering if you add it up, a pH test kit, an ammonia test kit, a nitrate test kit, and then a Red Sea Reef Foundation kit would cost you close to what? $250 here in Canada? Yeah, the bipolar hobby. Yeah. I'm happy, I'm sad. You sound like Homer on that. Woohoo, dough, woohoo, dough. Yeah. And if you join the channel, I noticed there's 4 people viewing. There's got to be one extra person in here. Feel free to say hello or ask a question. That's what it's here for. It actually makes us much more talkative when we're talking about tank stuff or answering your questions. Versus me sitting here smoking and thinking of evil things to do to a hamster with a fork. I kid. I kid. Hey, Tim. What's going on, buddy? What is happening? Nice. So you got a nice, good handle on it. Just looking to reach out to the communities at large and see what new and interesting things you can learn. And Tim, we're just talking tanks, man. Reefing in general. I don't think I have anything specific or axe to grind tonight. So no. I was just getting in. 24 years. Yeah. I mean, I feel like such a noob around some of you guys that I've only been at this for what, closing in on 4 years. But that 4 years was a traumatic event to say the least. 9 months of ick, yeah, definitely a crash course in husbandry. That was for sure. That's right. You're the one, Tim. That is correct. That sucks so bad, man. I have had Marie, it still floors me, and they're just not doing nothing for you, eh? Yeah. You had a big snake and you got bit. I'm sorry to hear that. What was it, a boa, python? It had to be a boa or a python if it was big enough to bite you and really snap you back. No pun intended. Yeah. I don't know if you've ever watched Viper Keeper on YouTube here, but I've always been fascinated by what they call HOTS, venomous snakes. Um, nice. How'd that go, Tim? I won't even get into the Viper Keeper thing for a second. I'm supremely interested in what they did for you. Well, that's the way to work it. My brother's kids were watching some videos on my phone of the tank today. And that feigned interest, it was like, ooh, oh, Dory, oh, Nemo, but other than that, yeah. Now, I'm sure if they were in person, it's totally different because it's such a large tank. And, I've been told my tank is extremely busy. I don't miss them. Sorry. So, did Marineland give you enough to get? They're sending you a check for the tank. Excellent. So you're going to reseal the one that blew out, and then get yourself a new one. I'm guessing from the sound of it. Interestingly enough, with the stressful day I was going to have, what size tank are you thinking of getting, Tim? I forgot to take my blood pressure meds and my diabetic medication before I went out the door today. So I had a long, irritating day for me. Yeah. 100? Nice. So 4 foot by 18 by 18, I think, if I recall. That's the standard, I think. Eight feet. Python? I'm guessing if it was 8 feet, it had to be a python. Probably a ball, maybe, or was it a carpet? I bet you did. Were, yeah. I have a friend of mine. He's in the hobby. He has, for lack of a better term, DIY'd his way in. So 48, 24, 20. Oh, okay. Really? Is my tank 20 gallons in 4 inches of depth? Really? I never really thought that was that much water, but I guess it is. Because mine's 48, 24, 44, or 48, 24, 24, 120, so standard 120. But yeah, I live in the province. If you look it up online, you can find it. Two young boys were killed by an African rock python that had escaped from the pet store downstairs. And my friend, who has DIY'd his way into the hobby, um, he was not brought in as an expert, but he's one of the guys. He's got a lot of reptiles, nothing venomous. You're not allowed in this country to do that. And if you do, and they, the powers that be, Department of Fisheries, no, Department of the Interior, I think, here in Canada, and Forest and Wildlife is who actually really takes care of it. Had him come in, and the snake was not aggressive at all. So how it happened was very suspect. But he's got some carpet pythons and stuff like that. And the one that he said, I want you to come with me. He goes, you're up on snakes. You're not an expert or nothing. I went, no, but I'm pretty good at identifying them. And he went, yeah. He goes, I need you to come over and look at it. We found a guy who had a 16-foot reticulated python that should not be here. 16 feet. I'm like, you do not take that out of there, do you? He goes, no. And I went, yeah, that's probably be a really, really, really bad idea because he's aggressive just seeing us through the glass. Yeah. Yeah. So that was an interesting conversation that led to a confiscation of a snake that had to be put somewhere. It wasn't put down. I know it was sent to, I think it was sent down to up to Toronto Zoo, as I recall. But yeah, I don't know how that guy got reticulated into the country. So I recall, reticulated pythons are the longest snake in the world. Anacondas are the heaviest. Found two of them too here. Amazing what people will buy and not really think about what they're buying. Just like fish. Haha. Like I am like 5 minutes from pulling the trigger half the time on getting a Harlequin tusk. I just know it's not going to work out my tank and it would send things straight to hell for me. So, as beautiful as that fish is, as much as I might love them, it's just not worth it. And I could put him in and everything's fine, but, it's one of those, it's 50-50. Really. I'm really happy for you, Tim. I'm really glad. Usually, I find like when I dealt with Coral View over the bubble blaster impeller failing on my skimmer, I just basically got a big middle fingers. Impellers fail, buy a new impeller. Yeah, well, your impellers are $114. So, needless to say, I was not amused. Oh, speaking of that, I got to check my skimmer cup tonight. That's probably getting close to full with some inky black fish poo. Are you a vocal guy? You want to pop into the hangout, Tim, or? And Noah, the OMG is for which thing? Oh, and I saw your other question. How often do I feed my corals? Twice a week. And I do Billy Pipes method with Reefroids, if you want to look it up on YouTube here. Really great method. Yeah. Well, you have reason to be. You almost had 100 gallons of water. You did have a butt ton of water leak out of your tank. So, yeah, get your phone. Pop on in. Shoot the breeze. Oh, I better do a link up, huh? Oh, you fail, Craig. Let's see here. Italy. Yeah, what's up, Damien? All right, so let's get that one up there. And we're going to copy the link address. Paste that in there. There we go. There's our redirect. Thank you, YouTube, for the really spastic way we have to do that. What's going on, bud? Sorry, I got to talk to my cat or he'll meow incessantly. So, my big 20-pound male. Huh? What's going on? I took him and his brother in as rescues to live with our two cats we already had, who are just your average size cats. And his brother, at 9 months old, got ill on me, got a heart murmur, and went anemic. And he was 21 pounds, and he was only 9 months old. That is one big ass cat, guys. Let me tell you. And he's gotten big, but he's still nowhere near as big as he was, which may be a good thing. I think there was something genetically messed up there. What's going on? What are you doing? Huh? I was up my mother's there helping out there, like I said, with the move. So I think he just smells my mother's cats and he's all interested in what's going on with me. So Tim, yeah, check out Billy Pipe's method. You had a rock python. They're aggressive, man. That's an aggressive snake, from what I hear, anyway. You can't use reefroids? Angelic, why can you not use reefroids, sir? That's an interesting question. Because I've used that on consistently every coral I have, and I've never had an issue myself. I wouldn't overdose that stuff. That's a lot of nutrients in your tank in a very short amount of time. Just clean. Come on, brother. Is there not enough? Oh, I see what you're upset about, cat. Come here. Here you go. Come on. There you go. Yeah, this big guy likes to sleep at my feet. Oh, that's right. You're running Zeovit. I keep saying it's going to be one of those things. I keep forgetting that you're running that, and the nutrients will throw it out. Yeah, I read that actually. One of the few forum things I've ever read that I went, oh yeah, okay, I can see that. But yeah, it was who does Zeovit? But that is what do you call it? Zeovit's its own company. What am I talking about? I've always been interested to try their coral snow. Um, I think it's called. Hey, bud. Yeah, Casey. That's the stuff. Yeah, I right now I'm not going to be doing anything like that. I use Reefroids for the corals directly. I do not broadcast for the most part, except for in the 120. I broadcast around my Christmas tree, my bisma worms, so they can get something off of that. I also have zooplankton from Two Little Fishies because it's thinner. And apparently that's the hard part for keeping those guys alive. But I know my tank must have decent nutrient level because those worms, even though the coral is seriously cut back. I mean, instead of the whole rock, it might be a piece 3/4 of an inch by half an inch wide that's still left. But I'm hoping that Paredes keeps coming back. He's lived through so much that I'll probably do cartwheels in the living room and tape it. Dated myself, record it, and put it up for everyone to see because that's going to be quite the event for me to have that bounce back after 3 years. I have pictures and video of it really healthy, very brown. It's not a very colorful coral, but There you go. See, well, you know what? Duncans are. I think Duncans are the new Xenia. I like them, but man, there is a real kind of displeasure in the hobby of people with them. I don't know if it's because they don't really reach pest level, but in the right system, I know they do grow really well. So, did you buy that privately or was that at a store? Hey, Shinobi. All right, link's coming up. Bubba's got the hammer. Don't play with the cord, cat, or we'll have words. Stop that. Yeah. Yeah, Bubba, I'm going to put up a video. I don't know when, maybe this weekend I might do it before I get working on Monday with some stuff of me driving through a snowstorm back from where my reef shop would be. So I can show you what it's like driving at night in a snowstorm in Canada. It was an interesting drive. Got down to like 35 miles an hour on a 65-mile-an-hour section. It was like, oh, come on. You're that nerved out. Don't be on the highway, you goof. No, tank's looking good. I was saying, Bubba, I came home, looked at my 120, and was absolutely amazed at how clear and how stellar my water looked today. I was just like over the moon that things are starting to clean up that well in that tank. Yet here I am talking about getting a new return pump. Woo. Probably going to take me a month or two to save up to get that, but not only will it run my tank better, but it'll let me do water changes easier because I'll have an Ecotech 584 to 726 gallon per hour return that I can use to pump the water up that height. Yeah, I was just thrilled. Yeah, that tank's coming around. It's going to take a while. Whatever happened nutrient wise, that of course always happens quick. But that coralline explosion in my tank was just so bizarre. It was so quick. Um, then and it just beat some corals down, and my water was super dirty, and I couldn't seem to clean it out. I mean, filter socks were changed every 3 days. I even put filter floss in front of the return. To hell with it. Nope, I could never quite get it clear. And yeah, I was looking at everything tonight, and everybody's colors were good, and I got parietes growing on my Christmas tree rock, and I'm just like, yeah, okay. My Superman mushroom split. There's 5 Superman mushrooms there now. I'm like, yeah, okay, we're getting back to normal here. Have that tank looking like Rico's in no time. Hey, Al. Luke. I wonder if that link's not working for Tim or what's going on there. He said he wanted to pop in, hang out there. Oh yeah, sure, man. I got to do that most nights too. Actually, my wife got off early today while I was out, so she came home and she's now resting comfortably. Yeah. It's a little cryptic there, Noah. Out of the store that was closing down, what is it that you got from the store that was closing down? check some email while I'm doing that too. Sorry, just going to check some mail on that Lisa. Nope. Okay, she didn't get back to me yet, so hopefully Ray got a hold of her. Nope. I'll be watching that a little later then. Coral's new video, huh? What's going on? The link may or may not be working. Sometimes the links are kind of stupid like that. If you're doing it on a phone, it's kind of it's a little weird. I don't know about doing it on a phone. I log into YouTube on my phone, then hit it, and it bounces me out, but it doesn't always do that. You got an Apple phone by chance? Cat moves. I can move my feet now. He's got a hone call. Sounds important. There. Oh, we're getting a few people in here tonight, Dave, versus the other night. So. Four. So if there's anyone else, you got questions, you want some advice, or you want to just chat fish stuff, coral stuff, feel free. It says off air. It shouldn't. I'll pop the link again. And if that one doesn't work, I'll try it another way for you here in a sec. I know Dave had some issues the other night trying to get in. Night, Noah. Oh no, we're down to 4. Whatever shall I do? Oh,
hello.
There we go. There's Dave.
Yeah, it let me right in.
Yeah, let you right in. Oh, Tim, you're fail, buddy. You fail.
Oh no. Hangups has its hiccups.
Yeah, it's weird. I've had that do that. Nope. Then I close everything, reopen everything, and then whoop, there I'm in. So go figure. So
yeah, I don't really know that much about the iPhones, so I'm not going to be very much help on that.
no, I heard that iPhones can be finicky with it. So and he's probably using Android, and we're just talking crap. So it's the way it is, right? I drove through a snowstorm, and I'm laughing the whole time. I'm blowing by people at like 65, 70 miles an hour, and no, I'm not being reckless. I'm literally driving to the conditions. And, it's just because there's some poor old blue hair or some girl that's never driven in it before. And it's like, you need to get off the road because you're actually causing a problem. The traffic was lined up like 52 cars. And of course, everyone's now freaked out because of this one. So there's like 3 or 4 of us on the passing sections that are like, see ya. You guys can hang out here all night. I'm not doing it.
I don't blame you.
It's like I grew up in this stuff. What is your problem? You did too,
Yeah, we get on the highway to go somewhere. I set that cruise at 80 and I'm gone.
Yeah.
Of course, she's the kind that does the speed limit, and which is fine, but I kind of like to get there at some point.
Yeah, absolutely. Give me a vocal check there, Dave. Say hello.
Hello.
There we go. Try to crack you down a bit. He's coming in hot. That's all. No big deal.
Ah,
That's fine, Tim. Tim, try this link. This is the last thing I'll give you because sometimes I hear this works. So try that one. And if it doesn't work, then yes, just stay in chat. You can shoot the cheese and breeze that way. So it's going to be cigarettes, and I'm going to make coffee at some point, but I'm going to wait and see if, like, say, Bubba, when he's done picking up his wife, or somebody else pops in, or maybe Dave will, or someone will. And yeah. No, awesome. Life comes first, Al. Luke. I'll call you Luke. I'll probably remember that because Luke's one of those names that's not that common. So, oh, I still wanted to go to the reef shop, but since I was up that way, and I'm like, no, it's it's snowing, it's crappy, and I'm gonna go there, and I'm gonna be like, oh, I really want that. I'm gonna wind up with another bill. Yeah.
Yeah, every time we go to the LFS, the wife looks at me. She goes, "Hand me your debit card." Why? All right, here's your spending limit because I know you. Yeah, pretty much.
What? Okay. Now I'm curious because I've had a Harlequin shrimp, and there are people that thought what I did was barbaric. What did they do to feed it that kind of, ooh, gave you the, I don't like that.
I just tossed a star in there and just let him do his thing.
Oh, really? You mean they cut, like, what was it? What kind of starfish? Was it a sand sifter?
I do chocolate chip.
Yeah, I hear chocolate chip are actually expensive starfish.
Oh, we get them here for like $6, $7 a piece.
Yeah, I used bone cutters, right? So I buy cheap bone cutters. I buy toenail clippers, cuticle, but big ones, right? I'm diabetic, so of course my toes are all messed up because that's just par for the course in my life.
Yeah.
But I have old ones they're too dull for that anymore. But they're still sharp. I mean, you can still cut through bone. And I have a pair that's just for rock. And I kept a harem of 6 starfish, and I would take one and I would cut his leg off and then leave it, feed it to the Harlequin, and it went pretty well. By the time I got back to that guy, I would never take more than 2 legs off of a starfish, and because those guys only cost me, give or take, $20. Chocolate chip starfish were going to be like $35-$40, and they don't do as well when you chop them. They really,
No.
really, they get really, because they're thick body, I think is what they call it. I'm not sure the technical name. So.
And see, I tried doing that with mine, and mine wouldn't take the leg. It wanted the whole thing.
It wanted it. Yeah. Yeah. If I get another Harlequin, I want a Hawaiian Harlequin. I want the yellow one. But they're now with the moratorium, I'm going to guess that's next to impossible. So.
Yeah, I had one a few years ago. Man, that thing got big.
Yeah, somebody said they get about 3 inches or so. So.
Yeah, mine was 3, maybe just a hair over. I'm just rough estimating.
Yeah. And I bet you he was gorgeous too. Was it a yellow one?
Yeah.
Yellow dots?
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't you get me? That was my dream. I had blue. And it was a female. So I kept looking for a male. And then that 20-gallon tank, that was the one I lost all the euphyllias in. We were getting ready to move. And when I actually started to pull everything out, that's when all the heads bailed off. And I was displeased, to say the least. And then, unfortunately, Harley Quinn, she didn't make it. So I just found her belly up one day, and I'm like, "Oh, you're kidding, right?" So, but she didn't go to waste. She went into the other tank and the fish ate her. So it's all good. Yeah. Smoking outside in the cold in the Midwest, he is.
Yes, I am.
But I agree with you, Loki, or Loke. If you don't use a sharp blade, you're just being a douche, for lack of a better term. It's like, if you're gonna, basically amputate, do it right. God, blades aren't even that expensive. It's like $4 for 5 Stanley, utility knife blades that are sharp enough to do that in like one. Yep, you're done.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's just there's just people that sometimes you just gotta, you just shake your head at it. Like I said, it isn't that you want them out of the hobby. It's like, if you're gonna do it, guys, do it right. Do the
Oh, yeah,
things
see
that
that.
do. Go ahead.
I was going to say that leads me into another pet peeve, a huge pet peeve that I ran into today. Ah, I wanted to slap this guy. Brings in a mandarin when I'm at the store getting some fish food. Brings in a dead mandarin to the store, saying that, oh, they did this, and trying to blame the store for this fish dying. And I've talked to the guy a few times, here and there. Well, long story short, he didn't know what they ate.
Yeah. Okay.
And I was telling him, I said, well, that's a good thing when you go or interested, do research and then ask, what's their diet, and all that. And his mentality was that's not his responsibility. That's the store's responsibility.
Yeah, I've seen that attitude. Yeah, that's the dangerous one, I call it. Yeah.
Exactly. And I said, you're the one buying it. You should know what, or at least ask them, hey, what is their diet? What is their, I don't care if you buy fish, coral, whatever, what is their environment? What's their habit? What's their diet? Ask all them questions. They'll answer them, but don't just blame them.
Yeah, and on top of that, a mandarin, and the worst part about mandarins, and we all know this, or maybe you don't, and if you don't, then here's some information coming your way. They eat live food. They will eat prepared food, but it's very rare. There are mandarins that are going to be coming out of Bali soon that are raised on flake food, right? And if you look up American Reefer or American Reefing, don't quote me. No, American Reef Builder. There we go. Boom. But look up Mandarin Eating Flake, and he's on there, and he shows you his Bali raised one. And, it's, it's one of those things. I have a soft spot for mandarins. I think we all do, because they're just such a beautiful fish. Unfortunately, they're also a very cheap fish. For what they are, was overly surprised that they were like, when I bought mine, he was $25, and I think now they're only $40 up here. Compared to like a hippo tang, who's starts at $90 for a small one. An Achilles tang that starts at like $250. A Harlequin tusk is $479 for a small one. And I'm thinking, what if you bought a Harlequin tusk, man, and had it die? Would you go back to the fish store blaming them? Of course you would, and you'd have to laugh at them because it's like, you think you're pissed about this $25 fish, you're going to lose your mind if it's a $500 fish. People just surprise me that way.
I mean, I just don't get it. Yeah, I don't understand why people think like that.
No,
they're the ones that they're responsible for taking care of that animal.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people, their attitude is really horrible that way, that they think somehow it's the store's fault. I call that the PetSmart Petco mentality, because they just take the fish back if it dies within a certain amount of time, and they've led to this kind of ideology that we're the ones that'll look after your fish. It's not, you're the husbandry person, not the store. Tim, the only rule I usually have about mandarins with people when I talk to them about it, and it's pretty basic, if you can see pods in your tank, and it's a big enough tank. Now, a 40 breeder's a little small, but you're going to have a 100-gallon tank. The minute you can look in, at night especially, get yourself a red map light and shine it in the tank and look for the pods moving around. If you got a ton of pods, like, you can look at one spot and give or take in like a small 2 or 3 inch section, count about 10 or 20, you can get away with it at that point, if he will never take prepared food. Because at least then he will be able to eat. And maybe you guys didn't know this. A mandarin is capable of eating up to 500 to 600 pods a day.
Yeah.
So, I've got a scooter dragonet and a mandarin, and the mandarin's nice, fat, and happy, and the scooter's fat and happy. I must be doing something right, and I only have a 120. So when people are killing fish, especially that kind of a fish, the first thing, well, how long's your tank been set up? Well, 3 weeks. Oh, okay.
Yep. 5 days intact, so I could eat something.
That's when things get a little, sickening in the stomach, I guess. I want people to have these fish, but geez, it's not that hard to do the research.
No, and I've always said that in today's technology, in today's day and age, if you don't know something, you're choosing not to know it.
Pretty much. I mean, don't go to wet media unless you want to get laughed at, because they're just horrible. I think that's a site, they've been up quite a while. And unfortunately, they've just gotten to the point where their answer is pretty much, you're an idiot. Why are you here? Oh, they'll establish right in your tank, Tim. I've had a mandarin in a 20. I'll see if I can find the footage, and I'll show you her. And she's in my main tank now, and she's stayed nice and healthy. Yeah, you should have seen my male. He was flipping huge. I should never have sold the original wizard to my buddy because it died in 3 weeks in his tank. And I told him if it wasn't eating within a week, I'll take it back. I'll give you the money back. No, he really wants it. His kids love it. And yeah, well, you killed it. Thanks a lot, buddy. That mandarin was thicker than my thumb. I swear to God, he was a good inch across. Like his dissection across him, midsection was a good inch. That's a big mandarin.
See, I agree with your advice on the mandarin, and I always add to that, mandarins and if you got a school of Anthias, be careful because they'll compete for the food, or some wrasses will also try to compete with the mandarin for the food.
Really? You really can't. Listen, Tim, you can buy from Algae Barn, I think now sells pods, and they sell them at a really good price, and they have it's almost like an arrive alive guarantee. They pack them really well, and you could get away. And I'll tell you what you do. Here's a Reefer Madness hot tip. 1, don't leave your bottle of pods in your sump for 4 days with the cover on. Don't do that because you'll kill them all. So, second, what I normally would do is I'll take the bottle or the bag, I guess, in the case if it's Algae Barn, put it in full into the tank and stuff the end of it where they can swim out next to the rocks. And what you're doing is making a little cover for them to get in. And you could seed your tank ahead of time for about, I'd probably wait for that new 100 when you do it. Probably give it a good month, maybe 2 months, then start seeding it. Just a couple of bags. And then once you start seeing them establish, you can go ahead, get a mandarin. And you could probably reseed once a month, maybe once every 2 months. And that mandarin will be just fine. And there's a way to feed them prep food or to see if they'll take it. Turn off the flow in your tank and make sure you drop the one I have seen them really take to is Hikari Marine S. The pellet, it's really small, and it sort of dances in the minimal flow when you turn it down. That actually causes them to react to it because their eyesight is extremely excellent. And if he starts taking pellets, between the two, you'll have yourself a fat, happy mandarin that will last years in your tank. Mine's over a year old now, and I watch her like a hawk. If I see her belly start to cave in at all, I'd be all over that shit. But unfortunately, some people don't pay attention to their fish. So
exactly. Well, I'm gonna hop out of this voice chat. I'll still be in the other chat.
Sure thing.
Some stuff taken care of.
Someone will hop in here with me. Since there's only 3 of you, I love you guys. Thanks for coming.
Well, I'll try to get back in here a little bit.
Take your time. No rush. I got another hour or so, maybe 2 in me.
Okay.
Later on, Dave.
Later.
Yeah, Bubba, that's one of those situations with people that just, I've been at the fish store and seen that attitude, and you're just standing there like, really? So if you buy a cat, is the store responsible for the cat? Well, no. Right. It's the same thing. Right? It's just because you don't want to research what you're doing that you hold the store responsible for what's going on. It's not like that at all. Freshwater is explosively bad for that. I talk to more pet store guys that just shake their heads. They're just amazed that people don't want to listen, that they think all you need to do is put water in there. Yeah. Go ahead, Tim, get a beer. God, I wish I drank beer. My life would be so much cheaper. No. I see people drink Guinness and it all seems so, oh, I bet you it's delicious, and it still tastes like moose piss. I just can't drink it. Vodka for me, and if I feel like I want to get mean, I'll drink rye. Although you get a few more people in here, but you know, it's what it is. I appreciate the people I have in here. It's always great. Always appreciate the people that come in. What am I dealing with here? I am going to email Lisa right now just to see what Ray did for her. I think I know what he did, but I want to know for sure. There we go. Sent. Signed, sealed, delivered it is. What a stressful effing day. I tell you. I don't need that. I've had a heart attack. They suck, by the way, just so you know. Yep. Dave's exactly right there, Angelic Ways. Not hard to do, and once you do it, they tend to hold on pretty good. Tigger pods are a little more robust, but they tend to get a little too big for mandarins. So Tibs, Tibse, and there's another one, another type of ampopod that they really go for, and they're pretty fast breeders and don't get too big. I've been told Miracle Mud makes them go nuts, and I've seen video proof on here. So I'm now to the point I'm thinking about putting 10 pounds in my refugium. Oh, it'd be worth it, Tim. Like I said, once you can see them on a regular basis, especially at night when you look in the tank, you're good to go, right? There'll be something for him to eat. Just make sure you don't have anything in your tank that will pick on him. So, you know, kind of to go with what Angelic Waves said there, Dave, make sure that you don't have anything that outcompetes it. Oh, yes. Happy wife, happy tank. Happy you. Right? I don't suck my wife in. I let my wife pick the corals unless I, you know, like she really wants a rock anemone, and I'm so on the fence just because I really don't want to have a fish go missing and have to look at this thing and blame it. That probably won't happen, but I have seen them eat clown gobies. They're not that sticky, but you know. Yeah. But she likes plates and open brains and things that take up a lot of real estate on the sand bed. And my sand bed went through something, so I think that's where everything started in my tank on the nutrient front. So I'm pretty sure, like 99% sure. So now it's like, okay, that's starting to clean up. I'll do another couple of really wicked cleanings, and you have a yellow chorus and a Hovens. You have a 175-gallon tank. I think you'll be okay. I've never known yellow chorus wrasse to get too aggressive with mandarins. I'm not sure about the Hovens. You might have to look it up just in case. And remember, don't take one person saying their Hovens ripped up their mandarin. Look for 20 or 30 that ripped up their mandarin. That would be a sign that, okay, that might be a problem. Yeah. Yeah, my wife loves the euphyllias too. But she's big. I'm telling you, open brain. She wants a jawbreaker fungia plate so bad, it's not even funny. And I'm like, well, when you got $2,500 to blow on a coral, you let me know. Especially on one that could die in our tank. That would. Oh, I'd be in tears. I would. I'd walk out and commit seppuku. I'd Harry carry it right there, boy. I'd be done with that. Yeah. A Hoven's Raz does eat pods, Dave. I know a yellow chorus does, but they're not near as aggressive an eater of them, especially if they're getting well fed. So, what's going on out in the world today? I'm just going to check a couple of the sales sites that I have linked. I got a new tank today that I got to clean up that's out in the car. Got it for free, and I'm like, oh, I really don't want another tank, but okay. Okay, what's going on there? Oh, check it out. Guy just had a problem with his powder blue like I had with mine. He put it in a timeout tank. Go figure. I am still in tears that I had to get rid of that powder brown. I really wanted to keep him. Greatest name in the world for a Tang. I named him Wu. So Wu Tang. All right. So I should have my new pump on Monday. And then I got to test my water in the sump to make sure I have no die off in there. And then I can ramp that back up. I don't think that 3,000 is going to be too big. Hopefully all goes well. I could do the movie line thing for the start of that too. Craig's day started out well, and then he turned on his pump, and all hell broke loose. And why not? Really? That's kind of neat. Usually women are really, really, really big on the fungi, like the plates and the brains, because they're so colorful. But grab a small trout from the grocery store, go to your local LFS and smack them around with it for a bit, tell them to bring in the better looking stuff. Because if he's not, it is because of the expense, and I don't blame him. There's one orange hunter orange fungia plate up at my LFS right now. It's $80. It's only the size of a sand dollar, and it's like, really? They're $80 now. Those things were like $40 not even a year ago, right? And he's like, yeah, that's what the supplier. I'm getting nailed, man. I'm like, really? Hey, Al. So nice to see you back. Oh, feeling a little silly. Sorry about that. I'll go Monty Python. I'll stop myself. Far too silly. So I got a buddy of mine. We're gonna take if I've named the channel Reefer Madness after the '50s anti-marijuana movie, and there's a scene where the guy's sitting there and he's all freaked out, like he's doing this real kind of freaked out thing, and I want to have that with a fish tank in front of him or a frag rack, right? And I want to put that into my channel somehow because that's how we all look when we get to the store and we have money. Can't help it. I see certain corals, man, and I'm just like, phoom, right there, that one. Yeah. Now, mind you, I'm a bigger fish guy, but I've reached a point where the tanks are kind of balanced out. I was thinking about a Bengay Cardinal, maybe for the 20. I don't know. I don't know if the wrasse will pick on them. I don't know. It's like, But I was thinking if I get a little one, it might be okay. That'll be it. Something really calm, very sedate, but that hangs around where you can see them all the time. Nope. But when I put that new pump on, we'll see how that rock rolls and see what I got to do to make sure that stays healthy again. New green pally. Yeah, my wife's favorite is a blue-green velvet pally that I have in my 120s. You can look at my 120, you can't miss it. It's in the sand bed on an island, and she thinks they're just a cat's ass, and I'm just like, they're just a nuclear bomb in my tank. And she loves mushrooms and Recordia. Yeah. Ooh, exciting. Yeah. At least I talked her into the Superman mushrooms. They're a lot more interesting to look at, but I don't know. I just find mushrooms boring. When you see mushrooms, even when they're all on a rock, they've taken off. I don't know. They're just not, they don't do nothing for me. Pretty much. Yeah. I'm going to let them grow up the side of one of my main mountains there. That's about it. I don't know. They get too thick. I'll just look at my wife. Oh, we got to get new rock. Yeah. Recordias are nice. Again, kind of an aggressive grower, but they're not too bad. I got some Redactus. You want to see a stinging bugger? There's a stinging bugger. I've got them separated out on a rock. They've recovered from white, but they're just bouncing back now. And oh, maybe we'll get a few more people that want to hop in. Maybe we'll get some people in the hangout again here soon. Once again, I'm running this channel tonight. Just basic talk. Whatever you got questions on, go ahead. Feel free. Blah blah blah. You want to hop in the hangout and ask a question? Feel free to do that as well. Although I think it's just me and you three. Oh. So are you about to take the jump into saltwater, Al? Oak? Or what you doing? I think you were on the fence. I think it was you. I could be wrong. I might need a smack of a trout myself. I guess the reason I said long day, let's talk tanks. I got a free 29-gallon long today, and wow, it's hurting. I don't know how scratched it is. I know it's filthy. My idea of cleaning a tank is you get it and it looks as good as it did when it came out of the store, and this one looks like somebody used it as a bathroom. So I'm going to have to soak it overnight in the tub in vinegar and then give it a good scrub with some Barkeeper's Friend. Rinse it out really well and let it dry, and then have a good inspection on it and have a look at the seals. But if it's fine, I'll probably rehome it to somebody. Here's a free 36 inch tank. Go away. Don't do salt water. Or you might as well just pour your money into it and light it on fire. There you go. All right, guys, hang for 2 secs. I got to make some coffee. I am just having a moment. I'll be right back. There we go. Sorry about that, guys. There's a little bit of taking care of business there. So it looks like we have still have two people here, or one person here. Oh well. Whatever the case may be, I'm going to be here for a bit. So to see where our day takes us, I guess, huh? And I'm not expecting miracles out of this. I mean, we get a few people on. That sounds good to me. Usually we get a few people more towards the end of the evening anyway, like around 11 or 12 o'clock. We start to see some people getting in. If you're just getting in here, it's an open discussion. Ask any questions you want. And more than happy, someone here will probably know the answer or have good advice or where to go to get it. And in about 5 minutes, I'm going to go get a hot coffee and enjoy the rest of my evening. Yeah, Tim, that was just such a sin. You had that tank blowout. Everybody's nightmare, right? How much water spilled out of that on you? You said it was quite high up the top that the split happened? Or did it go all the way to the bottom on you? Never did get to ask that. And I guess as well, you lost about half. Oh, jeez. Bet you that was a mess, huh? No, I had a 60-gallon cube, but it was a reef-ready one. Yeah. Yeah, so you didn't have the tank run dry, so to speak, in a big hurry on you. Oh, I see my cats were on my desk while I was gone today. Yeah, I got the same thing. I got lucky. Most of the spills stuff I've had happen were on tile floor, and the hardwood floor that's in my house is the plastic stuff. So never really had a serious issue when it came to that. But yeah, I got to replace the tile floor in my kitchen because of a few leaks I've had, or not leaks, overflows of making water for the house. So it's lifted the glue. So not a big deal, but yeah, something you got to deal with. Yeah, but overall, pretty happy. It's funny how excited we can get about something as simple as clarity in your water. That's just, without a doubt, hilarious. That's excellent. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's why I like to keep a tank around, but it's just I have a limited space. So, but you never know. And I have a 29-gallon tank, which is one of the other sizes I like sitting around. Yeah. Yeah, I bet you that was crowded. All right. Seriously, we need to get some people in here. Geez, what's going on tonight? I know Rico's up and running, so that could be why. A lot of people, too, tend to hang out over there, which is cool. Tim, are you the one that's in Oregon? Ah, yes, that'll work out for the Diamond Goby, yeah. Keep him happy. No, it's not too bad a day, I guess. Oh, right, you're the one in Texas. That's right. I mean, at least you didn't have the thing that happened to 915 Mustang. I think he had the side blowout on a 120 or something like that. And I know Farm Boy Reef had a crack develop in the front of his 700-gallon tank. So I guess by comparison, you got off lucky, but I don't think any leak is a good situation. Very unpleasant to have your tank spring a leak. I think that's everybody's fear. Yeah, cubes are a little difficult, I found too, but the flow, they're kind of limited. It's almost always more of a cylinder, rock structure. I tried piling to the back, and it was just a big detritus sinkhole back there. And oh yeah, it was a pain in the arse. No doubt about it there. I know there's a couple more people in. I don't know who it is, but feel free to jump into chat, or if you want to get in the hangout, let me know. I'll probably shoot you a link. It's just an open discussion on all things concerning tanks tonight, or reefs, or fish, or snow. I don't think it's ever stayed on a subject ever in here, so. But I usually try to steer it back that way. Hopefully, Bubba gets back from picking up his wife from work. And if I could stop yawning, that would be fantastic. It's a long day. I got up fairly early and ended up having to move, empty out and upstairs for a family member to move in. And yeah, what a fun and interesting day. Not moving sucks. Really, a gyre really didn't help in the cube, eh? If anyone pump would have done, I would have thought that would have, but yeah. Huh. Yeah, I don't think there'd be an easy way to do it. You're right there. So, all right, give me 5 seconds. I'm going to go grab me a hot cup of Joe and we'll sit down and see if we get some more people in here and get chatting. Let's do it. I think I'm going to start running this like coffee talk. Talk amongst yourselves. So, what else? I don't know. I think we need to get some more people in here, Tim. That'd be cool. Maybe about 3, 4 more. Be just about the right amount. 10's great. That was the most I had. And I found the discussion was lively, brisk, and it wasn't too quick. So it wasn't like you were going back in the chat just to try and find something. Yeah. Kind of missed my 60 cube. I did like it, but yeah, it had its issues, that's for sure. Flow especially. It was trying to keep detritus out from behind the rock was just a never-ending story. Yeah. Let's see. There we go. So that's that. There we go. Get a few more people in here, I'm sure. I'll tell you, here's something off topic. I have this, as a diabetic, the worst habit probably known to man. I like to eat Frosted Flakes and watch Archer to go to sleep. How's that for a bad habit for a guy who has sugar issues? Yeah. Yeah, and you know what that is? If I remember, is a 93 cube, is that the one that's 36 by 36 by 36? If I recall? So I know a 60 was 24 by 24 by 24. Yeah, that got you, Dave. There you go. Worst habit in the world for a diabetic, right? But then I really don't eat a lot during the day, and I was talking to him, and when we really, even the dietitian's like, I don't know how your sugars are that good. And I said, well, you know, whatever degree of diabetes I'm dealing with, it's mostly circulation issues that I'm dealing with. So I work at it. You know, I move my feet, I massage my own feet, which I know someday I'm not going to be able to, but that's what health insurance is for. Hire me somebody to come in here and rub my damn feet, 30 by 30 by 24. So it's 30, 30, 24. Yeah. Because there's one down at my local fish shop, a big box store, Pet Value, and they can't get rid of it. And I looked at it, well, you have a stand and a tank and the plumbing just for the tank and nothing else to go with it. I said, and if you're going to do a cube right, as far as reef ready, you need a cube sump. They're not cheap. I built my own and it still cost, I think when it was all said and done, about give or take $300. Because I built it strong, like bull. And the guy that I sold it to someone else, and that guy's still running it right now. He absolutely is in love with that sump. Called me up and actually asked me how I built the filters lock section. I said, well, I just did it the way a guy told me to do it. It was nothing special. I just glued 2 eighth-inch thick Lexan from Home Depot, cut it to size, and then drilled the holes through it. And unfortunately, figured out that if you have a 4-inch sock, it's a 3 1/4-inch hole. And I only had 3 1/2, so I had to manually route with a Dremel to make the holes big enough. They didn't look right, of course. You can never make it round if it isn't already perfectly round what you're using. But it worked. It sealed it up, and you had a Trigger Systems cube sump, and I bet you that thing was not bloody cheap. I think I priced a Trigger Systems one for mine. It was close to $300, if not closer to $400. Yeah. Love Trigger though. Oh, that Ruby system, the red one. Oh, just oh. I'm kind of hoping I can talk Pat Murphy's Reefing into building me an insert for mine for my 20, and I'm going to put it in there and tell him what I'm looking for, and I bet you he'll be able to do it up right quick. And then I just take it down for a day, silicone it, leave it for 24 hours, and fill it back up. I would be so thrilled to do something like that. I have it working good now, but it could be better. No, but triggers are absolutely gorgeous. Gorgeous sumps. Not that Reef Savvies are bad, but Reef Savvy's even more cost prohibitive. Even their tanks are like, holy crap. The amethyst, that's the green one, right? No, that's the blue one. Nice. Yeah. There you go. There's an example of being lazy. I could just look that up. Take me seconds. Trigger systems. The blue one. There we go. Now, oh yeah, that one too. It's gorgeous. Blue is sapphire, so it's almost purple, I guess. Yeah, it's like a purple. Yeah. Very nice. Yeah. I was just looking at that, thinking, I bet you that's the one he's getting. Yeah, the new sapphire one, or the that would be. Just looking at that. The 34 you said you're getting? Oh, look at the cute little fishy cut in it for a pass through. There you go. Yeah, so my main display is a 120. I have a custom built 40-gallon breeder for a sump. The only modification I want to make, I guess, soon is I want to get I think I'm going to go with a Jabo 4000 or a 5000 DC return pump, and I'm going to use my Eco 2000 Eheim because it just will work better as my mix / water change pump, because my tank sits on a stand that actually makes it literally almost 6 feet tall. So getting the head pressure to get over top when I'm filling it, because what I do is I vacuum from the inside, and I'll pick a section, vacuum it out, and then I will do my water change that way. So I clean the glass, I do what I'm going to do, let it run into the filter sock for a little bit, just take out what I can without starting to change water level. Then I shut everything down, and I take out usually around 30 gallons once a month, and 30 gallons, pumping it back in with a pump that's only capable of, it says 200 gallons per hour, but has literally no head pressure. Takes about 30 minutes. So things in the tank, they don't change, but they change enough that I worry. So that'll be my next acquisition. It'd be nice if my channel exploded and I made money off it. I'd be doing things constantly. But in all honesty, and I know I've spoke with David length about this too one night, I don't think you need to spend that much in the hobby once you're at the level that we're kind of at. Things then they're nice, but they're not required. So it's a mixed reef. Yeah. Well, it was a mixed reef. I think it's mostly softies in there now. That'll change, but I was just letting the tank settle in. I'll probably give it another month, and then I'll probably start adding corals again when I know everything's right where I want it. I guess the next acquisition too will probably be I'll get a ultra low phosphate Hannah checker, so I can keep an eye on my phosphates. Just a little closer. I use my phone with an app called Aquarimate. It was $11.99. I think it's $14 now, but they did the upgrades to it, and I can track. I think up to 10 tanks. And I can put all my parameter testing in there. It tells me the date I tested, what it was at, and then it graphs it for me so I can actually see the ebb and flow of things. It's kind of cool program. You can go nuts. You can actually track all the fish that you have in it, when you got them, where you got them. You can go to a database to positively do the identification of the fish. And yeah, it's pretty cool. I should make those guys pay me for pumping that. And I can post that graph of my stats to like Facebook or whatever group I'm in, or send it to people, or I can take that day's stats and actually screenshot it, so to speak, and send that to people. It's pretty cool. Yeah, that's a good start for SPS. SPS go to my tank to die. I had a red planet that was doing great right up until my event, as I call it. But even then, I lost corals prior to that. Like, I just can't seem to keep SPS for a joke. I just won't. My 20 comes around, I'll probably start doing the 20 with them. And then if that takes off, I might switch. But yeah. Yeah. No, at least that worked out for you, Tim. That was a really nasty turn of events. I'm glad that worked out for you. You know, having a tank split, break, just awful event. Nobody wants that. Well, if he's grafting colors, when you say he's grafting colors, what kind of color change is he going through? And that's not necessarily a bad thing either. Well, you can always let that grow out a bit, snap a chunk off, pack it in a styrofoam container, and mail it up as an American-made something or other, and just don't glue it to anything. I'll take a piece. You got to overnight ship it, though, so we'd have to make plans. That's actually excellent, Tim. Again, really good to hear. Yeah, it really is. Um, I've gone through the only crash I ever went through was a 29 gallon I had previously. Um, when I was doing a move, people left. I think you heard this story, Dave. I moved in the wintertime in January here in Canada, and it was minus 35 out. And when we moved the tanks, I left an inch of water on the sand beds, and I was going to move them in the house, let them settle, put enough water in to put a heater in, and then fill them up from there. And I had gone to get food for everybody who helped me move, because I took about 6 people to get it done. And unfortunately, they left that tank in the U-Haul in that weather for a good hour. And it literally, I mean, I still had gnat snails that were alive. I still had that stuff. So I just figured it was okay. But what it did do was kill every last bit of bacteria in that tank. So when I filled it, I went through a little bloom. I cleaned it up and everything was fine. But I noticed about a week and a half or so later, the tank stunk. So I pulled everybody out. I cleaned the tank out, took the sand out, put everybody back in fresh salt water, and really just sort of stood there in awe that this had happened, and everyone's like, oh, well, why are you surprised? So it wasn't that I was surprised. It just, there was no indicator ahead of time. You know, I guess is what I'm saying. That was a big gold kick in the taco. At least I didn't lose any fish. I lost all those livestock in the sand, but that wasn't a big deal. I still have more gnat snails than I know what to do with. Now what I'm trying to do is my trochus is starting to come down in population after having hundreds. So now it's going to be, I'm probably going to have to buy a few more and hope for another right situation where they all start breeding. Minus 35. Yeah, I live in Canada, so we have some cold days. And that's minus 35 Celsius. It kind of matches up. It'd be about minus 30 Fahrenheit that night. It's pretty cold. Yeah, I forget. I think we were in Reef Community Worldwide's chat one night. Everyone was talking about the coldest night they went through, and I think my saltwater journey said minus 30 something. And I'm like, oh, I got you beat. The coldest night I've ever been out in was minus 65. I got stranded in the truck in the van one time with holes in the doors. And it was minus 56 with the wind chill. And I was stuck in that truck without proper clothing for 3 hours. Well, I bet you've had days, if you're in El Paso, Texas, that were over 100 Fahrenheit, I'm going to bet. Yeah, ton of pods in there, man. Yeah. It's always a cool thing to see. And I'll make you laugh, Tim. Canadians tend to turn on air conditioning at about, give or take, 60 degrees. And that's not, I'm not kidding. It's like, we just don't like anything warm. Never been that cold? Well, come on up. Tonight's 0 is what it was when I got out of the car. So give or take 32 degrees Fahrenheit tonight. And that's, I'll run out, take garbage out in a t-shirt and shorts. That's not cold to us. I wouldn't go out for any length of time like that, but even still, I'd go out in a hoodie and a pair, just regular clothes. Yeah. It's got to hit the negative numbers in a big way for us to start getting really miserable about it. Usually minus 5 in a wind chill that gets it down into the teens, that'll do it. Because it's a damp cold here too, so you tend to feel it in your bones. Yeah, the Canadian mentality when it comes to cold is it depends where you are. Like BC, they're kind of wussies because they get the warm air off the Pacific and something called the Chinook winds in Alberta. So over the mountains and that, it tends to warm up really quick. So they don't really get winter, but Alberta does get hammered hard occasionally. Nice. Yeah. Entirely too many rattlesnakes and scorpions for me, man. I don't want to go to a place where being in my backyard could get me killed. Although here it could be a moose. I actually have video somewhere of deer tromping down through the backyard. 80. So yeah, see now that's I'd enjoy that for all the 5 minutes till I got in the car and turned on the air conditioning. Weather is a great commonality between everyone. At least we're not talking about weathertainment here. I really couldn't care less if it was storming. I know Halifax has power outages tonight, and that sucks, but Me, Reef Dudes is in Canada, is he? Canada. And if so, where in Canada? Because believe me, the country is actually bigger than your guys' place. Did he ever say what province he's in? Because I'm in New Brunswick, so which is on the East Coast. I know Lisa Love Aqua 333. She's in Ontario, and there was another fellow, I forget his name. He's out west. Cool. Have to get him in here. I'd love to have Reef Dudes in here. Love to have any Canadians in here with me. That's always good. Yeah, there was a night here that everyone was asking me all kinds of stuff about, Canada. I was like, we're rich and colorful people, whatever. We're basically just polite Americans. You want to get technical about it. We try to be. It's a lie. We're completely rude and obnoxious to each other. But for some reason, you say you're from another country and we're all super polite and helpful. Yeah. Not really sure where that attitude came from, but yeah. I'll have to check them out. I will check them out, actually. Oh, coffee, I love you. I don't know. I don't think we're going to get many more people in here tonight. It's just going to be a slow night. I guess that's a Friday for you. Everyone's gone out partying. That's all right. I don't expect a whole lot, like I said. At least I'm not getting any thumbs down. That's always good. Nope. Yeah, the new tank thing is always a little uh, hair raising, I guess. You might want to probably not dose. It's such a wrong term. Populate the bacteria culture. Maybe get some ATM colony or Dr. Tim's one and only when you set up your system again, just to help keep that level of bacteria going. Or you starting all over, fresh rock, the whole 9 yards. A little desk cleanup here. Yeah, I think that's the exciting part, isn't it? Isn't that the sick part of this hobby? I'm going to build a new system and what you're going to do, and even though yeah, exactly. Nope, good idea, Tim. That's every time I do a new tank. I did it. I tried stability. It's too weak. Whatever it is, it's really weak. I'm gonna guess if you watch the video from Mr. Saltwater Tank where he talks to Dr. Tim, um, he says a majority of those are what's called a high level bacteria, and he didn't say who, but I'm guessing ATM. He did his dissertation on bacteria, and he actually explains it, the difference, and it's actually really, really good video. If you want to look up Mr. Saltwater Tank bacteria. I guarantee it populates up, and have a look at what he has to say about it. It's pretty cool. Very interesting. Yep, so does Birospira, and so does ATM Colony. All three I've used. But stability, I thought I'd try it because it's all that was available. And I just got lucky. A friend of mine was down in Halifax at the free shop down there. They sell it, ATM Colony there. So he picked me up a bottle, and I just dumped the whole bottle in. Give it a good shake and dump it all in. I was like, oh, you got to go by the direct. No, dump it all in. I ain't taking a chance with $100 worth of clownfish in the tank. Yeah. My Wyoming white and that flurry, they're fun. Yeah. I've never had a couple clown pair attack me at the same time. It's usually one or the other. Yeah. So that was kind of funny. That did okay. The Fritz 9. That's Tropic Marin, I think, isn't it? Fritz 9. Yeah. Red Seas made me nervous lately, man. I don't know. Something's up with that company. I don't know if they're getting lazy or what's going on. Oh, what am I talking about? It's Fritz, the salt guys. Yeah, duh. Sorry, my bad. I went stupid there. Ugh. You don't like Fritz salt? What? That's like my favorite salt. 20 minutes, it's ready. Well, you got to buy Fritz Pro. I should add that, I guess. But I just use IO because it's cheap and it's easy and it works. So. All right, give me a sec here, guys. Lisa finally got back to me. There we go. Answered that question. Yeah. Yeah, I have a big problem with the tropic marin for that reason. It's just awfully expensive for the amount. Yeah, I just use a regular old purple box, 200 gallons. Cost me $70 up here. If I tried to do like Red Sea Coral Pro, that crap will cost me $119 for 160 gallons. No, correct. That's what I feel about it too. It's a little cakey, for lack of a better term. For lack of a better term. Fritz is nice and clean. I did like that about it. Red Sea, up until whatever bad batch I guess they had, I don't really know for sure, but I know a lot of people had some incidents of huge algae outbreaks after using stuff from the summer or the early winter. Sorry. Yeah, I tell you. Well, hopefully we get a few more people on. I might go a little past midnight tonight. I'd like to get some of the boys from Reef Community Worldwide in here and get a good discussion going for my channel. And yeah, it was weird, wasn't it, Dave? There was something that happened. Because I know there's got to be 15, 20 guys I know that had issues. So uh, I don't need the dose right now. Uh, Everyone asks me how come I don't. It's like I have like 5 corals in my main display. I don't think dosing is really an issue right now. Yeah, especially with that aggressive purple, maroon red is the only way to describe it. If you look at the picture there, or you go to my channel, that coral line was just aggressive as all hell breaks loose, and that was sucking up calcium on me. But my DKH, my alkalinity stayed at like 7.5. Never really went one way or the other. Just sucked up a lot of calcium. Would drop me down to like 330 in a week. So I was dosing calcium. I guess that's a lie. Oh. I wonder how hard it would be. Give me a sec here, guys. There we go. So sorry about that. I just blanked out there for a sec to go look something up because I wanted Tim to see it. And for some reason, I am not where I want to be. I went to the wrong one. There we go. All right. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened there. It popped me away, but I am back. There we go. So for you, Tim, I don't know if this will work. I hope it does. Check that out. That's the Mandarin one I was telling you about from Reef Builders. But give that a watch. Yeah, that seemed to be what it was for me. I scraped the back and then bang, it went off. So I think that's where everything really started. So I had a dirty sand bed thing going on, and then that happened. It seemed to really kind of set things off on me. Yeah. So yeah, that's definitely check that link out. That is really interesting to watch. I'm hoping those guys come into the hobby because man, to have mandarins that aren't reliant on pods only, that's a game changer for that fish. That will really help them along. Yeah. Stop the wild ones from being taken so often. It's a good thing they breed like rabbits. So for sure. And to whoever popped in, if you want to ask questions, you got anything you'd like to ask, or possibly want to get in and chat in the hangout, just give a hoot. And we'll see what we can do for you. Kind of a captive array of people here too. Exactly. Yeah, Tim. That it. Trust me. If you watch it, you'll be like, "Hooray! Please, please, please." Yeah. I'd love to see mandarins not dying in droves to, you know, poor husbandry because people don't understand how difficult they actually are to keep. My God, do you know what time it is, kids? It's time for more coffee. I will be right back. It's Bubba Hotep. What's up, Bubba? Crazy cracker. Phew. Ah, ja. Ja, ja. That's the alk in the tank, yeah. Yeah. You find testing at night works better for you? I use just IO, just regular Instant Ocean purple box, man. Um, I like Fritz Pro, but it's just far too expensive. But I will say the best I ever had a tank looking was probably the Fritz Pro salt. Eh. You know what? And Bubba, maybe you can chime in on this. I guess we all can't really. Oh, sorry, had to cough. I don't think you guys want to hear that. I find the number chasers are also the Fritz Pro RPM. Yep, that's the best stuff I ever used. Mixed in 20 minutes, was consistent, was easy. I love that stuff, but it's just so bloody expensive. First time I ever bought it, it cost the same as IO. The guy couldn't get it in anymore, and the next time I saw it, it was almost double. Yeah. Last time I tested, I had 7.67 in the main display and 7.1 in the brand new 20. And IO purple is calcium deficient because both of them came out at 380, I want to say, which isn't super low, but it's a little low. So, yeah, I popped a link there, Bubba, about what's called the Bali mandarins that are being bred. And I'm kind of hoping they make it into the hobby. It's been a while, actually. It's been almost a year. So I'm guessing they're going to hopefully start filtering out here, but where Bali is closer to Europe, I'm guessing they're making their way to Europe more often, yeah, than the west coast of the States. But hopefully we start to see them over here. They eat flake food, man. Right out of the box. That's right, I'm smoking Big Whoop. Want to fight about it? Yeah, I'm telling you, Bubba, I think my favorite fish is probably a Lubbock's wrasse and my clowns. But those mandarin fish, I really, 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 I have both a love and a loathing of people who buy them not knowing what they're about. Any of them, green spot, scooters. Scooters aren't so bad. I have seen scooters take the pellet food that's hit the bottom much quicker than I've seen a mandarin do it. I had a mandarin. I got lucky. I had a mandarin that was a pig for it. Akari Marinas. He would just gobble that shit up. But unfortunately, life went through changes. Tanks went through changes. He kind of had a moment. I sold him to a buddy, and he starved him to death instead of giving him back to me to fucking get eating. Oh, see? Do you find your elk test different at night? I have never seen a difference. If I test during the day and I test at night, it comes out the same for me. pH, on the other hand, that's a completely different thing. But I got an automatic pH probe to test with now, and I still haven't calibrated that thing. Yeah, I think it's bullshit. I think it's BS too. I think pH, yes, because we all know that for a fact. We can all test and actually see that, but there's things you can do to offset that, right? Fuge at night, lit, all that stuff all helps. Yeah. Yeah. And I think it really only matters to sensitive corals, sensitive acros, sensitive montes, any millipora, anything like that that's really sensitive to any kind of a pH flux. I think that matters, but overall, unless your tank is swinging wildly, yeah, I don't think it's that big a deal. Fish deal with it. So Ray from Reef Supplies was supposed to get a hold of Lisa today, and I don't know if he did. She said she didn't get anything yet, but I find her email suspect. She's with Hotmail, and I've seen it take hours for her to get something from me. So nice. Yeah, I think I'm gonna get the dosing stuff and do it myself and take it from there and just kind of deal with it as it comes. And I'm not going to do it until I probably get about 10 or 12 corals into that display tank again. Yeah. And I'm watching my 20 like a hawk. So. Yeah, he did say that, but if you look at the date on the video, it is quite a while ago. I think it's back last summer. But usually when they say something like soon, it does mean something like almost 2 years, if you want to get technical, because they got to get their brood stock up really big. It's the same with the coral beauties that are coming from them. One, I think they look better, and two, they're a hardier, less ick-prone, version of them. So we'll see. Yeah, if you watch the videos from him, he's pretty good. He's very biased to Ecotech. I'm really, really getting ticked off with the sponsor channels, and it's always here's the most expensive thing you can buy for your tank. You must buy this for your tank. That does tend to get on my nerves a little bit, because it just does. Come on. An Ecotech Radion, well, let's see, a Hydra 52 well, here you go, guys. Let's play the how freaking expensive is that in Canada phase. So Reef. Main supplier that I use. Give me a piece of gear that you guys know is fairly expensive down there, and I'll make you choke on what it costs up here. Just for fun. Well, here you go. The XR30 G4 Pro. So that's the one with the enhanced lenses, 190 watts, is $1,100 in Canada. So Tim will hear that in a moment and spit out his food. Oh, good coffee. That's for the Pro. Give me another one, guys. Just for fun. And you got to remember, the problem is duty and taxes, right? So when it comes across the border, yada, yada, yada. There's some really, holy cow, $1,100 for a G4 Radeon Pro. That's the 190. If you take the G4, not the Pro, but the 150 version, that's $900. And that only does half my tank. So for me to light my tank with those would be $2,200. That's where I kind of try to tell people, like, you got to remember that, people in other parts of the world, like my saltwater journey, his prices on some stuff is ridiculously cheap. Like he doesn't pay a lot at all for some stuff, and some stuff will just slaughter him. Yeah. So you wonder why Mars Aquas are super popular in Canada? That's why Mars Aquas are super popular in Canada. Anybody want to buy me some LEDs? Chips? Yeah, I was looking at my Mars Aquas the other day, showing a guy what I was going to do for his, and it was a little sick. My UVs are all burnt out on my main display. I think there's 2 that are okay now. So I've got to replace all the UVs in that, and that's going to cost me about $30. I love them. They're great. But I think it's time to replace some of the lights on the board. Yeah. Kessel 700. Okay. Hold on a second. Kessel. In Canada, light fire to your wallet. All right, so the regular Kessel A360 WE the tuna blue, the regular one's $458. Where'd you hide the A700, Ray? He's got the hanging kit. He's got that. There it is. $1,049 for an A700. Yeah, Bubba, he's the one who had the seam snap on his 93 gallon. He got good news, though, just so he doesn't have to type it out. Marineland settled with him, and he's going to get some money back from them on that tank. So I guess a little good news for such a bad thing happening. So did you guys catch the prices I was telling you? No, Angelic, are you saying, oh, sweet baby Jesus, on the price it would cost for Kessels up here? Yeah, it's a little, some stuff is really, really, really expensive. Like, you know what? I think they carry the Orphic. We were talking about the V4s there not that long ago in Rico's chat. Let's see if he's got Orphic. I thought he did, so. Lighting. And LED. Is he carrying? He is carrying Orphic. Nope. He has stopped carrying Orphic due to price restrictions. So there you go. Right off the bat, that should tell you how expensive that would be. I can find out, though. That's easy enough. Who else carries Orphic in Canada? Orphic. Orphic V4. Word by. Nobody is carrying Orphic in Canada. So that tells you how expensive that is. That is expensive when they won't carry it. Yeah, it is mentally expensive for some stuff. Lighting is expensive up here. I don't know why. Even an ATI hybrid is really expensive. If I go to lighting, I'll go to AI, T5 hybrid. The ATI 48-inch, which would do my tank, 375 watt LED, and 8x54 watt for T5's Wi-Fi module is $2,831. So the big ATI kit, which is that hybrid kit, so it's got the LEDs from AI. I believe they're aqua illumination pucks. Yeah. Yeah, it's too cost prohibitive, Tim? It is. I mean, that's, let's think about that for a sec. To buy a T5 hybrid, that's something. Yeah. Wow, $2,800. That's just silly. That is silly. The pricing in Canada, how I loathe you. So welcome to anybody who's coming into chat. Feel free to ask questions. Feel free to chime in. We're just here to shoot the breeze. I'm just having to make everybody of my American buddies choke on the pricing in Canada for LED fixtures here. It's a little pricey, just to say the least. Although an AI Prime still isn't too bad. I think it only went up a little. And they're pretty popular here, but takes minimum 2 to do my tank. So, and even then, the penetration's not all that deep. So, phrasing. $249 for a Prime HD now. That's not too bad. Hey, what's up there, Luke? Well, if you put the exchange rate with it, right, it's not too much different, but the problem is it hits the border, and if they label it as anything other than American made, uh, the duty can be murder. It can bring it right up to the same price, Tim. You guys don't even want to know what an Apex cost up here. You don't. Trust me. They do. Mars Aqua. And there's another Popular Grow slash Evergrow. SB Reef does modified versions of those. The thing is to remember with the Chinese gear, so Cobalt Aquatics, to a degree, you got to watch out for. Usually they're pumps, because there's the old MJ pumps. Jabo, J-Cod, Coral Box, Coral View, to an extent, Reef Octopus now. A 5% failure rate is acceptable. That's literally their ideology. So 5% of my product can go up in flames, and they use that stuff. All that. Chinese knockoff stuff. So Jabo is actually a Chinese company. That's where they started making stuff, pond pumps, and then went into this stuff, and they were selling it over there first. Their version of a Radion. I got a buddy I can ask. I talked to Mike from JO Nation quite a bit. I can ask him what he has over there that would be similar, and if it's even worth having. That'd be a good one to get, eh? For an Apex, Angelic, Dave, $1,079 plus tax. And that's the cheapest you're going to get it in Canada. But when you consider I bought my whole setup for that, you know. Well, that would be the new Apex. So that's the one that comes with everything. So you get the power base, the module, and the probes. Yeah. A lot of that goes on here, Tim. We have something here called Kijiji, which is like Craigslist in the States, and it's a little more regulated. And I have bought a butt ton of stuff off there. So just a butt ton. Just a butt ton. Problem is, nobody can afford that here. I'm not kidding. I know at least 30 reefers in my immediate kind of area within like 100 clicks, so about 75 miles of me. And literally nobody is running that. Nobody's running an Apex. Can't afford it. Oh, I'm a liar. I forgot. Kevin does run one. But he's got a 450-gallon tank built into his bar at his house downstairs. So you sit at his bar and you sit in front of the tank, and there's a rule. He has a sign up, and it says, if you put your beer bottle into my glass and break it, you won't make it out the door. And it's not because the water got you. Yeah, you guys pay a lot less for the Apex down there. I haven't really priced it out. Well, let's see here. Guess since I'm messing around with that, there must be. I guess bulk reef supply would probably be the cheapest. Be an assumption on my part, but it feels like that'd be a good bet. So the Apex controller system in the States is $800, give or take. Yeah, not a problem, Al. Anytime. Nope, I'm not. I know you're not, Bubba. Not sure about Dave. I never asked Dave if he was running Apex. He may or may not be. Yeah. You know, we had a big talk about that, Tim, the other night about reliance on that stuff. And there are things about it that I really like, which is things like notifying you if your pH swings, if something blew out, it got shut off, that kind of thing. I do really appreciate that, but it's the automated stuff that gets on my nerves. And only because you become reliant on it, and aka then you become dependent. And then if something goes wrong, and it was that did it, it couldn't have happened unless you were letting that do it, because your computer will fail at some point, but it could be years, you know. So I've always told people, I was like, it's a little from column A and a little from column B for me when it comes to the Apex automated stuff. But as far as the monitoring, no, I absolutely would love to have one just for the monitoring, just to tell me the temp's swinging out, or just to tell me it shut off a heater because it was going to nuclear on me, that kind of thing. That's the kind of cool stuff. But I can do that with my Reef Keeper too. So enough said. But Reef Keeper Digital Aquatics really isn't doing all that great. They're still selling, but it's really weird. Yeah. And you know what? All we got to do, Bubba, is go buy a couple of heat controllers, and they'll cost us, $100 versus 1,000. When you can save that much, 10% of the cost is all you're spending. So, and I'm actually going to go a little more expensive. I'm going to get the Cobalt Neotherm heaters and go with the, well, you can't even get the 200 in Canada because of what happened to Joey there from King of DIY. But I can get two 150s to run my 200 and get one 75 watt to run my 20 system. And that'll be rock solid temp. So, and it monitors itself. So, and I'll probably still get two controllers just so that, guess what? If they fail, it shuts them off. That's what it. I don't ask for much. Come on. Honestly, I want to go up to Fredericton and buy a shrimp for my 20. Is that wrong? What was over? Why was the tank overflowing on the floor? Did your ATO flip out or something? Which would be infinitely bad. Oh, that always sucks. I fear for my Durso, but you know what? The way that things are right now is one of those I've been really I think that was he was talking about 3 o'clock in the morning another time, but I'll let him answer because I'm not sure now either. You think I was tired all day yawning? It was because of the stupid drive. Ugh, what a day. Yeah. I gotta actually get at mine. I'm gonna buy the. There's a kit I can get from the plumbing supply store, and it's for cleaning out pipes. It's like a plastic bristle kit, and I'm gonna get it. It's very flexible, so I can get around my Durso, and I don't have to get around my Durso, but I want to clean that curved part, and I'm gonna clean that out there this probably next week. Yeah, and I got to clean off my overflow because it's growing a butt ton of algae on me, bugger. No, but hopefully get a couple more people. Probably get a couple more people, and then go for an hour or so and call it a night. I think maybe a little longer. I don't have to work tomorrow. Wife doesn't have to work, so I bet you've learned a few lessons. We've all learned a few lessons, Tim. How about if you shut off your ATO and disconnect your pump? You have to monitor both tanks for salinity. Yeah, I label my stuff. I'll tell you, Tim, a label maker has saved my butt on so many occasions. Every cable has what it is, and any switches have what it is. My wife loves it. Just looks at it and it says R pump, return pump. Actually, I relabeled it RET pump just for her. Skimmer. I have an American DJ power center, and it's built into my stand. I think if you watch my tank tour, I actually show that. But that $20 label maker from Walmart saved my nuts so many times. I think I got spies jumping in and out, Bubba. No. I got asked today about subscriber stuff because somebody was complaining about it. So remain nameless, and I said, the issue is that with the rules that YouTube has brought about on monetization and having to have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of viewing time, which would explain very long live streams that are going on for a lot of channels now. Um, You can get mad about it, but that's where it's coming from. YouTube has created that. Not that I should be preaching to you guys. You probably already know that. I had to type a long diatribe to a friend today about it. Like, tell them it's like you can get in. You're not going to get monetized right away, man. They changed it so drastically. Unless you're doing car stuff or very, very popular stuff, getting monetized now is going to be next to impossible unless you're already there. Which is why I tell people that's not what I'm about. I just like doing this. So I like making the videos. I'm going to start making some of the ones with the effects in it again, too. I just got really ambitious at one point. If you watch my video, Tim, about my skimmer pump going stupid, I actually do this whole lightning and setting things on fire. It's pretty funny. Or lame, depending on your point of view. Well, it looks like Lisa's not going to make it in because it's getting 11:18. She should be on. I think her kids would be in bed, so. I would guess that I've kind of reached my limit of people tonight, which is okay. Well, all right, guys. I'm going to kill it. Not that I don't like hanging out with you guys. I actually appreciate it immensely, but if we're not going to get a few more people here and whatnot, then I don't like listening to myself talk all night, so. So good night, guys. Good night, Tim. Nice talking to you. Next time, maybe you can pop in. Take care. I'll see you hopefully tomorrow night, I would think. Something like that. Have a good one.